Hello, hello, hello. Seems like it has been a long time since I've been here. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been here, and I just want to say I hope that everybody is doing well. Since I've been gone, we've had hurricane, and I've been doing traveling, speaking at an event and then attending a conference. So we're back to our regularly scheduled program, Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Latoya Wells. I miss you all. I hope you miss me. If not, hey, it's okay. I won't take it personal, but I hope that you all are doing well. Tonight, we're going to continue our conversation on breast cancer awareness. The last time that I was with you all, we discussed statistics, things of that nature. We're going to delve into breast cancer a little bit more, treatment, diagnosis, all of the good stuff after the diagnosis, after treatment. We're going to talk about that. But hey, for those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Latoya Wells, doctor of nursing practice, family nurse practitioner, and owner of Wells Legacy Health and Wellness. Wells Legacy Health and Wellness is a full service family practice clinic. We offer family practice where we see newborn to the end of life, and we offer wellness services as well. I'm also a certified CPR instructor, so I do provide CPR instruction and to the community, and I enjoy that as well. Being that I am an educator at heart, education is such a passion of mine. And so I love educating, love making sure that my family, my friends, and my community have the knowledge and information that they need to be able to advocate for themselves. It's nothing like being armed with, well, I wouldn't say armed, but having knowledge and being empowered with information and knowledge about your healthcare so that you can work in partnership with your healthcare providers. So if you don't get anything from me from these sessions, it's that you should be able to advocate for yourself. I was talking to some friends and they told me that I forget to mention that I do have a YouTube page. Wells Legacy Health and Wellness does have a YouTube page. Please go and like our page and share. Click like and share our page. We are working on some things in terms of getting out additional information and different sessions and things of that nature. So if you have not gone over to YouTube and liked our page and shared the page, please do so. All of the Wellness Wednesdays that I have and that I host are there. We have some exciting information, that things that are happening. And yeah, so I'm not going to spill all the beans, but we are accepting insurance. So we are self-pay, right, for those individuals who don't have insurance. However, we are now accepting some insurances. So give us a call so that if you are somebody who wants to come and has insurance, let's have that discussion. So we can see if we accept your particular insurance. And we are pending more insurance companies. So once I get those, I will definitely post those on the website and to our social media pages. So let's get to it. I see we have a couple people here. Welcome again to Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Latoya Wells. We are in the month of October, and I'm going to adjust my screen because I have this shirt on. It says Divas for a Cause. I have an um, amazing group of women who, majority of us are healthcare providers. Majority of us have our DMPs, and when we get together, it's just amazing. And so we had these shirts made a couple years back. We do the breast cancer walk, and we just had an event this weekend, a brunch, a breast cancer awareness brunch, to raise money and raise funds for breast cancer awareness and research. And so the walks are happening this coming Saturday. Unfortunately, which I don't think I shared with you guys on here, I won't be able to walk this year. I was supposed to participate also in the Alzheimer's walks, but I won't be able to walk this year. I took a fall and I fractured my foot. So I'm out of the count for the walks, but I will be cheering them on. And I have donated my funds to show representation from my family for the events that are occurring. So if you have not had an opportunity to sow or to give into Breast Cancer Awareness Month, there's so many different opportunities to do that. You can go to the Susan G. Komen. You can Google breast cancer awareness walks. There's one that will be happening this Saturday at Lake Eola in the Central Florida area. If you're here within Florida, I know that there are many individuals who watch Wellness Wednesday who are not local to Florida, but I know that they're having these walks all over. So let's get into it. Last time we were here, we talked about breast cancer. We talked about statistics. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. And this Saturday, while I was at the event, there was an amazing provider there, amazing doctor there, Dr. Ulrich Simmons, and he is a breast surgeon. And he actually did a procedure on me a while back. And I'll talk about that. When I believe I was 27 years old, I felt a lump while doing my monthly self-breast exam. I felt a lump. I was in the shower and I was doing my exam like I was told to do and explained and educated on how to do that. And I felt a lump in my left breast. And so got out of the shower and went and laid down on the bed and did the exam while lying down. I still felt that lump. And so from there, I reached out to a contact of mine. The strange thing is I had just transitioned from one job to another, and my insurance had not kicked in yet. And so if you can imagine finding something abnormal within your body and faced with not having active insurance at the moment, my insurance was going to be starting, but I was in that gap phase of not having insurance. And so I reached out to a contact that I knew of and that I was familiar with at the educational center it was called then Florida Hospital, but it was the breast care center there. I reached out to her. She was able to put me in contact with some resources that I was able to go and get a mammogram done. And once we did the mammogram, the area did show up on a mammogram as abnormal. And I then had to have a needle biopsy so that they can take those cells, send it off to the lab and see what it was, right? Is it, of course, cancer? Is it something else? What is it? Whatever it was abnormal. It should not have been there. And so we needed to do further testing. They sent the sample off. Well, they looked at it. The physician and radiologist looked at it, and they didn't think that it looked suspicious for cancer at the moment, but they did have to send the sample off to the lab for further testing. Thank goodness it was not cancer. It was a fibrocystic area. And because I have dense breasts, and we're going to talk about that, because I have dense breasts, and because I was under the age of 45, I believe it was, we were a little concerned because the younger you are, being diagnosed with breast cancer at a younger age is very common, even though we don't talk about it as much. You can have more complications from it because of that. And so different factors play into it. And so this weekend, I learned some things that I did not know or that I wasn't aware of when it comes to your risk factors for breast cancer, and we'll get to that. So they did the biopsy, and I continued to do my breast exams and have my mammograms because I do have a family history of breast cancer. And so I started my mammograms fairly early because of that. And every year I get my mammograms. It's usually in February or March that I go for my mammograms. And fast forward a few years, maybe 8-9 years later, doing my breast exams, my self-breast exams, I found another lump in the right breast and had to go through that whole process. My lymph nodes on my right side were reactive, so we were a little more concerned with that. Switched up deodorant, did a bunch of different things, and the area kind of went down. We don't know what caused it, but hey, it was something happening, and I went and got it checked out instead of waiting. One of the things that I want to speak to is waiting, When we find something that is abnormal, when something doesn't feel right, our bodies will tell us that. Your body will tell you when something is not right. Many times we brush it off, we overlook it, we're too busy to notice, and that's where we get into trouble. So it's so important that you know your body. And I'm going to keep speaking that and keep pushing that and drilling that because it's so important. If you know what your normal is, when something abnormal pops up, you know because you are familiar with your body. So get the mirror, get your hands, get the touching, feeling, looking, look at your back. If you can't look at your back completely, get someone in your household, a significant other, or someone that you trust to do a good skin sweep, because skin cancer can also happen in those who are highly melanated. But you want to know if there's something abnormal. So some of the things that I learned or that I was made aware of this weekend is that women who don't have any kids and who started their menstruation early are at a higher risk for developing breast cancer. Um, Women who have a family history, as we know, of breast cancer, already we know they're at a higher risk for breast cancer. But men, when it comes to men and breast cancer, men do develop breast cancer. The screening is not the same. And I never really thought about the screening for men and breast cancer because men don't have the amount and type of breast tissue that women have. Um, we don't do mammograms for them. It's strictly physical exam. So that individual will go and have a physical exam, and if there's an area there, they will have to have the entire muscle and chest wall area removed. Um, Men and women, and there was a gentleman at the event this Saturday, and he asked a very good question, a really poignant question about screening men. We were talking about women, and then we kind of threw in there, yeah, we don't want to forget the men, but the men in the room stood up and asked the question because he wanted to know. So if you are a male and you have a history of breast cancer, your children, your daughters, your children have a higher risk of developing breast cancer as well. The treatment may look a little different, and the screening process is definitely different. So it's important to, again, it all goes back to knowing your body. When it comes to screening and how often and when you should get screened, that's all going to be determined by your family history. And I believe the guidelines now start at, I believe, age 40. There was some controversy about that recently or within the past few years, but it's all going to be dependent on your health history and your family history and what's going on. But I believe the gold standard is to start screening between the age of 40 and 45. And there's different types of screening. So an individual as myself who has dense breast tissue, there's been a lot of research and talk within the last few years about MRIs of the breast. So if we go and we get a mammogram and it's abnormal, they're most likely going to do an ultrasound. And based on the results of that ultrasound, they will then potentially do a biopsy or some additional testing and screening. For individuals who have highly dense breasts, which there are many women who have dense breasts, areas that may be suspicious within our breast tissue can be missed because of the density of our breast. And so recently there's been a lot of talk about breast MRIs or MRIs of the breast. And so I had a conversation with my GYN, and she's amazing. And I really feel that she's a great provider. We had a discussion about that, and we did a risk stratification. So I took a quiz, answered some questions, and based on that, I was not at a high risk and didn't necessarily necessitate the need for a MRI of the breast. But something in my gut kept telling me I need to get this MRI of the breast simply because I have dense breast tissue and my breasts tend to be lumpy from time to time, depending upon my cycle, right? So, as women, our hormones fluctuate. And so, the time at which we do our self breast exam is going to be important. Um, it's going to be important because the breast can be fuller, can be more sensitive. If you're an individual who has fibrocystic breasts, um, such as myself and many other women, things like chocolate and caffeine could make it worse. And so it's important to know what's going on with your body. I'm always going to lead back to that. So for me, I knew I needed to get a MRI of the breast. And my GYN was like, nope, you don't meet criteria for it. I think continuing with the mammograms is fine. I saw my primary, who's also a nurse practitioner, and she and I had a conversation, and I talked to her about the conversation that I had with my GYN. And she said, based on your history of dense breast tissue, I think we should go ahead and get the MRI of the breast. So finally was able to get that prescription for it, and I will be getting that MRI done fairly soon. My computer is about to die. I thought I had it charged now. There we go.